Hi everyone and welcome to Club5 episode 20 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM22 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, we've reached the final day of the season. We've got a game at home against Newcastle United to finish our Premier League season off. Unfortunately, the run of form that we were in the midst of last episode, the poor run of form, has kind of continued. We've just dropped out of the top 10. Today, if results go our way, we could potentially get 10th. We could also finish in 13th. All to play for just in terms of that league position. Let's see how we get on. So it has been an incredibly frustrating last couple of months of the season, unfortunately. We've been quite patchy this season, but patchy has led us to mid-table, and that in itself is magnificent. 16th was where we were predicted to finish. Lowest we are going to finish is potentially 13th, highest of 10th. We're currently sitting in 11th. So you can see that ultimately we're doing pretty well. We are ahead of schedule and getting above and beyond what we're predicted to get. But even so, if we go into the schedule, you'll see this run of form that we've had towards the last couple of months of the season, unfortunately. Started way back here with Southampton and West Ham at the end of February, early March, and just kept running all the way through the season. We did recently beat Everton 1-0 at home, so hopefully that home form can rub off on us today. But it's been tricky, and it's been a tricky run of fixtures. I mean, you know, having to play the likes of Chelsea, Man City, Tottenham, Man United, Arsenal is never going to be easy. And when you're in that low run of form, it's incredibly hard. If we go back through the season, you'll see that January, February was much kinder to us in terms of the type of teams that we were playing, and we picked up some very valuable points at that point. And that was really important to us because it came again off the back of another slightly challenging month and a bit from late November through to December, where we were struggling to hold our own again. But we started the season quite brightly as well with a few early wins that helped us out. So you can see that it has been patchy, but when we've gone on bad runs, we've really gone on bad runs. And this current one is quite bad in its length, really. But we are, as I say, still hitting above our average, as it were, and getting above what we were predicted to get for this season. So overall, I've got to be happy with that, right? We'll see whether we can finally get a good win today and get ourselves in 10th, maybe. It's all about what Tottenham, Liverpool and Everton do. Liverpool, Everton are both 1 point behind us, and Tottenham are 2 points clear of us. So you can see that there's still a few bits of movement we could do in terms of positions. So all we can do is focus on our own game. We play Newcastle United. They're having a decent season. They're up in 6th position. So that's going to be specifically challenging for us. And so, you know, we are going to have to be at our very best. But to do that, we've got to go and put that out on the pitch. So let's see how we get on. So for today's match, we're actually in reasonably good health in terms of our squad. Mitchell, little bit injured. He's only on the bench. He can play a little bit, but not too much so. Fowlon comes in at left wing back. Other than that, everybody else is fit and healthy, but there are some concerns going around this squad a little bit. There's a couple of players wanting to leave because they've not gotten the game time they really want. The reason for that is that for this last 2 months where we've been really struggling with form a little bit, I've tried to bed in with the team that I think is best for it and play them more often than not. So it has alienated a few people. We've also got these lines connecting the players up. These dotted lines means that it's not quite as connected as you'd like it to be. So you can see that there are some relationships building, but having basically played this starting lineup for most of the season, you would expect it to be a lot better than it currently is. And that's a little bit disappointing. Orange lines instead of green, and these broken lines instead of sort of solid lines connecting players means that it's just not gelling together, unfortunately, which is a big problem. In terms of what we do about that, that's a very good question. We'll figure that one out over the summer a little bit, move a few people on, get a few people in. if we stay here. I'm always looking for other jobs, of course. The intention is to try and get one of those big jobs and get ourselves to a Champions League final to end this series. Whether we win or lose the final doesn't matter. That would be the end of the series. So that's still my intention, to continue to look for those big jobs that come up. If we just quickly go into the staff and into the job centre, you'll see there's nothing there at the moment. But after today, that could change. And you can see that one of the precarious jobs is the Chelsea job. Zinedine Zidane, potentially in 5th position, not quite doing what Chelsea want him to. Is that open to us? I don't know is the answer, but we would certainly go for it if the opportunity came up. Other than that, that's the only job at the moment that looks in any kind of danger. There's a few that have been replaced already in the lower part of the league. So we are right down at the bottom here in this very secure section. So they're happy with what we're doing, and rightly so. It's just about, can I see a better future for myself at a bigger club at some point? And I can. It's just about which is the right one to go for, and will they take me? So those questions will always still be asked and answered as we progress through. But for today, we get one more game to play. As I say, only one injury issue, and that's only a very minor one, so he even makes the bench. So for today's match against Newcastle, last day of the season in the Premier League, we go with Bursic in goal. We go Mendes at right back, Rodrigo and Omobamidele in central defence. Foul on at left wing back. We have a central midfield of Lucelio, Mascara and Vieira. On the right, we have Omer. On the left, we have Felipe George. And up top, we have Scarlett with 9 men on the bench, ready and raring to go should we need them. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So I've gone for a fairly generic team talk, really. Pump the fist, tried to rally the troops, rile them up a little bit, and just said, go out there, show them you've got what it takes. We're at home. I'm hoping for a very good end of season performance. There's no guarantees of one against 6th place Newcastle. They're very decent. And they're causing all sorts of issues for lots of teams out there. The likes of Vlahovic and Isak are in their team. That tells you all you need to know, really. So it could be a challenging afternoon, but let's see how we get on. And of course, it's Newcastle with the first opportunity. 10 minutes in, they're working down the left-hand side. Isak and Vlahovic teaming up at the top end of the pitch for them. That is a potent strike force. I'm not sure whether Hlosek was offside there. We might have to check that one just a little bit. I think he probably was. The review goes on through VAR and the goal is disallowed. I thought he'd just moved too quickly, but you can see Hlosek, Vlahovic, Isak, they've got a decent lineup, haven't they? Maybe it's this sort of club that we need to be getting into next. I think the finances are still in place at Newcastle. They just need me to maybe be able to put a team together that's actually going to challenge for stuff. At the moment, I think they've flattered to deceive since they've had their big takeover at the very beginning of the game. It's now a decade later, and they haven't really won much, I don't think. So maybe it's this sort of team that we should be moving on to next and spending some money. Vlahovic is still there, of course. Vlahovic gets the goal. I think, if I'm totally honest, I think we're going to end in 13th for the season, which would be slightly disappointing considering... Oh, there's another goal disallowed. That actually helps us. But considering we've been in the top 10 for so long, I think both Liverpool and Everton will probably win their last day games. And if we don't here, then we could be in some trouble. And I would be a bit disappointed by that. I think, top 10 was a definite opportunity, and that last 2 months has been absolutely impossible to get a good run out of, which is really disappointing. But half an hour in, we're just about holding our own. They've had more shots on target, more shots at goal. We've had a little bit more possession, but haven't really seen too much from it. And again, we lose the ball. Vlahovic again wins it. We win it back, though, and that's good, fast movement for us to get down the pitch. Vieira down the right-hand side, holds up the ball. Omar in support, drops it back to the central midfield. There's a brilliant strike by Vieira, and he gets a good save out of the Newcastle goalkeeper, tips it over for a corner kick. Don't even see the corner kick, though. And we move on, potentially to another highlight. A couple of seconds left, though, in this first half. Please don't let a goal in at this point. and the goalkeeper drops it somehow. There was a load of ricochets in that, and eventually the defence get it clear. They get it back in though, Newcastle, have another go, and we clear it again for a corner kick on this near side. They're putting on the pressure a little bit. Tottenham have lost. That's interesting. Tottenham are ahead of us in the league, if you remember. So that is a potential. They haven't lost. They're losing, to 1-0 to Southampton. So that's an interesting result. That could come into our favour if we can find a way to break Newcastle down. But in this first half, it looks fairly even. 6 shots apiece, 2 for us on target, 3 for them. Our XG rating is better. Our passing completion is better. The possession is better. But all the highlights, and therefore potentially a couple of the better opportunities, have gone to Newcastle in that first half. So it's a bit of a confusing read, isn't it, really, at this half-time point. I think we finished the half quite strongly. So let's see if we can use that. So we pumped the fist before the game. Let's point the finger, say we've been the better team, just keep doing what you're doing. The statistics suggest that that's probably true. It just didn't quite feel that way in terms of what we saw in the highlights we were given. So let's see what happens here. We're actually going to go in and fire them up as well at the start of this second half. But Newcastle are on the attack as the first highlight, and they get a good chance at this near post, but we do manage to scramble it clear again. Defensively, it's a little bit all sort of edgy and on the edge of our seat a little bit, and being a little bit lucky maybe. But ultimately, we are just about holding them out. They've had a couple more shots than we have in this second half, in the first 15 minutes of the second half. Can we find a highlight and a run through to their goal at this point? Vieira on the ball. Felipe George goes on a bit of a run. We need him to get more involved in the game. And then the highlight goes again because they win the ball back. We try and retrieve it. We get a foot in, but it goes back to them again. And it's Newcastle that get into the box, but we defend really very well again. And Vieira is one that enables us to get the ball out. And then we go long and lose it again. It's one of those highlights. I hate these highlights. You have it, you have it, you have it, we have it, you have it, we have it, you have it. And then they have it. And Vlahovic does that. And eventually, after 61 minutes of the game, having 2 disallowed goals or whatever it's been so far, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that one. And they do take the lead. It's been coming. As I said, in that first half, we may have statistically been right up there. It did not feel like it to me in terms of what we were seeing. We're going to have to find a way to connect Scarlett to the rest of our team because he's very, very isolated. Even though we've got an attacking left option that should be cutting in and an attacking central midfielder that should be connected to him, we're not connected somehow. So we're going to change this up a little bit. 68 minutes on the clock as Vlahovic goes close again but doesn't put the ball away. We're going to change our setup. We're going to go into the 4-2-3-1, a bit more of a more common version of it. So we'll bring Lucelio into midfield, drop Foul on back. We'll just have to play around with the roles just a little bit. So we're going to put him in as the ball winner. And let's bring him into the wide attacking option there. See what we can do with that one. I think we'll just leave that as it is in terms of the other player roles. But we do have to change a few things up. Foul on not having a good day. Even though Mitchell's slightly got a fitness issue, we can still bring him in for a few minutes. And we need to. Similarly, down the right-hand side, low in energy, not having a great day. So we're going to take him out and put Hulse in instead. We've got one more that we can make. And unfortunately for him, it's got to be Scarlett. A 6.4, we can't allow that to be. So Arkine comes in instead to finish off the game. He's not in good form at the moment, Arkine. He's gone off the boil quite considerably, having started the season relatively well. And we're just going to go from positive into attacking. We're going to go for it, basically. We've got one more game left. Might as well give it a go. It feels like there's something in this for us if we could just get a couple of decent opportunities at goal. Felipe George puts the cross in and Newcastle defend it well and retrieve the ball and do very well to get it out as well. Isak on the ball. Lucelio tries to win it and it goes straight back to a Newcastle player. There's Vlahovic through, but the goalkeeper comes out and claims that one. Sends the ball out. The highlight continues. We're down the left-hand side with Mitchell getting a chance to open up his legs a little bit for the first time. Vieira puts it across, but it's very wide into no man's land. Slows us down a little bit, but we do remain in possession. And that is fantastic by Hulse on the right-hand side. Retrieved the ball, set it back, went on a run into the box. Watch his run after he gives the ball off there. He doesn't stay there. He cuts into the box onto his left foot and then smashes the ball into the near post area. And the goalkeeper is in a crumpled heap on the floor and the ball is in the back of the net. There we go. There is our chance to get back into the game. Can we swing the momentum and keep it? So we're still going fully attacking. Lots of positivity on that one. Mendes on the ball. Isak wins the ball again. Not keeping it particularly well. Neither team are in a way. There's lots of loose passes going on, but we do regain it and we send it back to the keeper to reset us. And again, it's Hulse down the right side and he just stops. It just stops and stands there and the Newcastle player takes the ball. So frustrating to watch when this sort of highlight happens, isn't it really? But again, they're through Newcastle. And again, they should have got a goal. It was an absolute gilt-edged chance for them in at the top of the 6-yard box, but it gets a ricochet and goes over the top of the bar. Very, very lucky for us. Liverpool are winning and they're behind us in the league, remember? So we need to try and protect ourselves from them. We need, excuse me, we need one more goal. So let's go into the shouts and demand more from them. Can we get anything from this last few minutes and get us one more goal? It feels like Newcastle are going to get it more than we are just at the moment. And oh, please don't tell me they have. Oh, it's so frustrating. There was a challenge in the box and he went over and for a minute I thought they were going to give a penalty. They didn't. The game continued and then the shot went in the back of the net, but it's been disallowed. And it's been disallowed because nobody touched the ball on the way through because of that little bit of a foul, to be honest. And the original player that was offside was the person who put it in the back of the net and therefore he was offside. It was a bizarre run of events, that. And it's going to set the game up for its conclusion. That's it. It just runs through. The last 5-10 minutes happened without incident, really. But, I mean, let's look at the statistics again. We get a 1-1 draw. We had 12 shots at goal. They had 21 shots at goal, Newcastle. Only 8 on target for them, 5 for us. Our XG rating in the end wasn't as good as theirs. They should have won this game. And they didn't in the end, and we're a little bit fortunate. It does mean that Liverpool, I know, will jump ahead of us, unfortunately. Will Everton do it as well? I didn't see what their result was. This could be a problem, unfortunately. Let's go with you're unlucky today, just because there's no need to dig them out. It's the last day of the season, and let's go and find out what impact that has on the league. So we'll send the assistant to that one and go and find the table. And we go down into 12th position, not 13th. Liverpool jump ahead of us. Tottenham lost their game, but we could not win to get above them. And Everton lost their game. And that's the big result for us, really. West Ham beating Everton means that we finish in 12th and not 13th. It's still a little bit of a drop-off from where we were a month ago in the league in that top 10 position, but it's where we are. We are 1 point behind both Tottenham and Liverpool ahead of us, which is not a bad place to be. They've dropped off considerably, haven't they? Maybe those sorts of jobs are ones we should be interested in as well, because they've got a big reputation and probably a lot of finance behind them, even though they've dropped down the division a little bit. So ultimately, am I disappointed? Yes, a little bit. 12th is not where I wanted to finish. I wanted that top 10 finish. But ultimately, we're still 4 places above where we were predicted. And that's not too bad. So if we continue on just to get through this last little bit of the season, obviously, I don't know what we're coming back to next season. Let's just go through all of this kind of stuff and see where we are. We've been given 17.3 million for achieving 12th. That's not too bad. That helps our finances considerably. Bit of a payout going out there as well. And currently, we are a little bit in the red, but that will balance itself out through the summer and other bits and pieces. We've got a little bit of cash in the transfer kitty. We've got quite a lot in the wage budget. The wage budget is, we've got 650k a week we could put into transfers, etc. So there's some movement there, but we've got to bring up the overall balance to be able to do anything. Are we going to stay here for another season? I'm more than happy to. I'm more than happy to reinvent this squad, get some of the dead wood out, get some of those out that are asking to leave, and recycle some players, get some new fresh blood in. I'm more than happy to do that. But if there is another job out there that is maybe slightly more impactful in the Premier League, then I am absolutely open to that too. So if we just quickly go to the staff, go to the job centre, still nothing there at this point. And now there is another insecure job in Everton. Interesting. Chelsea are still precarious. Maybe one or two others will change as a few managers move around this season. Who knows what will happen? You're going to have to join me for next episode to come and find out where we are for the start of next season. For me, for the remainder of this week, we are talking on Wednesday of this week as this video drops. There won't be a video out on Thursday. I don't have the opportunity to record. I'm busy on Thursday. There will be a Friday video out. It won't be a Rolling in the Isles, though. It won't be Conquer the Curse either. You'll have to check that one out on Friday evening to see what we're going to be dropping then. But it'll be interesting, I hope. So come back Friday evening here on the YouTube channel, 6:30 p.m. UK time, and see what it is that I release then. Until then, though, that's this season done. Another season in the Premier League. We've survived very well, succeeded more than probably we should have, and still I'm a little bit disappointed. But anyway, that's going to do it. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That will help me get seen by more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.